Hello, everybody. I am the Black Jade Falcon, and I am going to review a movie for you. It's the first review I've ever done, so please do be gentle in the comments. Yeah. Anyhow, I just got back from seeing the new Flatliners movie. Just opened up last week, and I really wanted to see it. So I'm cheap, so went on a Tuesday where I live, and you can get it for less. Anyway. Not too bad. For those of you who don't know how old I am, I'll tell you this. I am old enough to remember the original Flatliners with Kevin Bacon and one of the Baldwin brothers and Kiefer Sutherland and Julia Roberts, too. Yeah, she was in it. Really hot back then. Now, very similar to the original in that a handful of medical students decide that they are going to see if the brain is just an organ, or if there's something more to it. If the brain truly is the place where consciousness resides, or if everything is all just a bunch of frickin' chemicals. So, they decide that they are going to kill themselves for a few minutes, come back, and look at brain scans of themselves to see what fired. Well, they do this. And they get a lot more than they're expected for. Here's what they get. Massive hallucinations, their nightmares, torment, stuff like that. And it's all guilt-based. So one of the major themes of the show is guilt and how to deal with guilt. Well, warning, spoilers ahead. So, I am going to go ahead and give you my recommendation as to whether or not you want to see this movie, if you haven't seen it already, and whether it's, worth your time. So, as far as the cinematography goes, let's break this down at the absolute basics. Not bad. A lot of it's a bit on the sophomoric side. I thought that the use of color and imagery was too subtle in some places and not very subtle in others. A lot of things were just way too spot on. It kind of reminded me of some things that my friends and I did when we were in high school. Honestly, as far as the placement of stuff went, it had more money, that's all. The acting, it does star Ellen Page, and come on, dude, she's awesome. And she's gorgeous. Her supporting cast, the other two girls in it, very beautiful. One was actually a halfway decent actress. The other, honestly, felt like she was phoning it in. I'm just saying. I'm not going to tell you who. The two guys, we do have the hunky Spanish guy. And we also have a nice little horn dog, white guy that basically will sleep with anything that moves. And he's a hedonist. So, now, four of the five do go under, just like in the original. And they all experience these massive guilt-laden things. So, for storytelling, not bad. I did like that they kept in the spirit of the original. And a lot of the tropes that they used were very similar to the original. And kind of nice. Arms are getting tired. Wow, I need a tripod. So, like screwing up somebody's life was a trope that you can be guilty for. A death that you, yes, are technically responsible for, but, hey, shit happens type of thing. And then there is the covering your ass guilt that shouldn't have been covered, should have fessed up when it happened, and things might have been better. So, one of the major themes is guilt and hubris. That is, by the way, an aspect of pride, where a person does things that they shouldn't do, all because they think it's a good idea. Yeah, or they want to be known for something. So, the horror side of it, the director used a lot of horror things that I really didn't think were that good. they were kind of a bit too spot on, I thought. They felt tried and too try, I thought, so I wasn't that impressed. Musical score, it kind of reminded me of the music from the cheap early 2000s horror movies that I used to watch when I was in high school. So, there's that. As far as whether or not you should see this movie, if you're a big horror fan, no. If you are looking for something that'll kind of make you think, I guess. But all in all, it's one of those that is most likely going to play on Sci-Fi Channel or like Cinemax or Stars on Sunday when nobody else is around, or like a weekend early morning, or like a weekday early morning thing when nobody's actually watching it. That's what I kind of see coming up for its future. So if I were to give this a grade, honestly, I would give it a B+. It's an okay movie, but So here are some spoilers, so if you really do want to see it, stop the video now. Been a pleasure. I will be back with more gaming, and I'm also going to do some movie reviews later on. So stay tuned. I'll see you later. Now, for those of you sticking around, here's what happens. Ellen Page's character decides that she is going to see if there is an afterlife. And she wants to do this because, well, she's this overachieving doctor and wants to get her name in a bunch of things because she wants to be world-renowned. At least that's what she tells people. So, what actually she wants to do, and it comes out later in the film when she starts hallucinating, and I'll get into that why later, is she wanted to make amends with her kid sister that she accidentally killed because she was being an idiot and playing with her phone while driving. Don't ever do that. I'm watching you. So, now the horn dog white guy, he's a really rich kid, thinks he's impervious to everything, just throw money at it and everything's great. He knocks a chick up that would wait at his country club and decides to drive her for an abortion. So she shows up earlier than him, and he just drives right by it and disappears, drops out of her life for a few years, goes to medical school. There we are. Okay, one girl, she accidentally kills a guy by administering certain drugs to him after he was stung by a jellyfish. She did exactly as she was supposed to do, except for one little problem. There was one drug in his system that reacts negatively with the anti-shock drugs that she gave him. So he dies. And she is directly responsible because here's the thing, she changed the autopsy report. Yeah, that's illegal. Okay? All to save her ass. And then the fourth girl, the fourth member of the group that goes under, she ruined somebody's life in high school and feels guilty about it. This girl had a better GPA than her, and she was also a lot better looking. So this girl was dumb enough to take pictures of herself. So our girl that goes under hacks her account and posts all of these pictures everywhere in the school and basically ruins her life. Kid had to move. So, turns out she did just fine for herself afterwards. It was a bump in the road. Yeah, there was embarrassment, but come on, now she's making like 5 figures upstate. Big deal. Okay? But, she still feels guilty, and she should. She broke trust. And yeah, she should feel guilty about that. So, the hunky Spanish guy, no, he does not go under. He is actually the voice of reason throughout the entire show and is telling them, yeah, you guys are morons trying to kill yourself. By the way, guys, if you do decide to copycat this film, you're an idiot, and I'm not going to help you. So there. Now, don't ever do that. Please don't ever flatline. Don't do that. No, 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 no. Okay, so, now here's the thing. I actually do have medical training. Yes, I am a physician, and yes, I do have an advanced degree. Amazing, I know. I like to go see movies and do videos in my spare time. Sue me. The thing is, while they are correct in stating that there is a little bit of bio and electrical activity in the brain after death, it does not linger very long, and complete brain death will usually set in about 1 minute. Okay. Now, while there have been people that have been brought back from up to about 5 minutes, they undergo a lot of the things that actually happen to the stars of the show. They hallucinate, their personalities change, they have horrible nightmares, and they gain and lose things. Most of the time they just get dumb because part of their brain died. Now, while your brain is rather plastic, it's not as resilient as you think. That's why it's such a big deal. So, and by the way, that's coming from somebody who is not a neurologist, not a neurosurgeon, and not a radiologist. I was looking at some of the stuff that they were doing. It's going like, the guy that wrote this basically did a really cursory look at a medical textbook, most likely a first-year medical textbook. That's cute, but no. So again, please don't imitate this film. Dear God, don't imitate this film. You're an idiot if you do. So, as far as what they experienced in the film from an outside perspective of a physician, no, they weren't being hunted by their sins, according to what they think in the film. No, they have brain damage and they're hallucinating. Now, here's the wild thing. After they come out of their near-death experience, here's what they do. They run around and party. They do shots and go dancing and run around in the snow. No, I've actually met people that have just been revived from 30 seconds of drowning, and you feel like shit for about, a day. You're not going to jump up and run around and go, I'm magical, and bake 6 loaves of bread. By the way, that's from the movie. Yeah. Doesn't happen. Sorry. You're not magically going to remember something that you read years ago in some obscure book. You're not going to sit down at a piano and just start pounding out this amazing tune like Mozart. It doesn't happen. You're going to be screwed up for a while. You're going to feel like shit for at least a few days. And you're probably going to be on bed rest for a little bit longer than that. Okay? Especially if you've been down for, 2-3 minutes. Yeah. So, that was everything about the new Flatliners movie. I will be back with another review. I'm probably going to go see another movie next week. I'm thinking of making this a weekly thing, especially since we got a lot of the winter season coming out. And honestly, I wanted to do stuff during the summer of 2017, but I wasn't that impressed. A couple of superhero movies, and that was it. I should have done Wonder Woman. Too late now. If you haven't seen it, what's wrong with you? So, be back later. Bye!